In today's episode, the power of Russian army. Volodymyr Zelenskyy is disappointed with the course of the counteroffensive, Russian propaganda claims. A reason to be proud. Joe Biden is proud to be the most pro-Russian president in American history. Russian propagandists are not above spreading false information about the vulnerable groups of people suffering from tuberculosis. American biological research has supposedly led to an increase in the number of patients with this infectious disease in Zaporizhzhia region. Our analytical team at Detector Media is on constant watch tracking the spread of the boldest fakes of Kremlin propaganda. I'm Vadym Miskyi, and for the next 10 minutes I'll guide you through the key facts. Let's get started. Volodymyr Zelenskyy is disappointed with the course of the counteroffensive. This manipulative message has been spread by Kremlin propagandists. They claim that the Ukrainian leader has declared a failure in the war. The authors refer to Zelensky's interview with the British BBC. These top fake fact-checkers found out that Volodymyr Zelenskyy did not make any statements about the failure of the counteroffensive of the armed forces of Ukraine or about his disappointment. The propagandists simply distorted the context of the interview and made up some of the phrases.
I'd like to begin by asking you about the counteroffensive. How is it going?
Not everything is easy. There are certain difficulties because, first of all, our land is mined. We would definitely like to make bigger steps that are a bit smaller than we want. But nevertheless, those who fight shall win, and to those who knock, the door shall be opened. That's why, by all means, we have confidence in the success of the counter-offensive actions.
Well, Ukraine, your deputy defense minister, has admitted that it will be difficult to win back land in this counteroffensive.
No counter-offensive operation can be easy. It's not easy, first of all, for those currently on the front line. Last autumn we took counter-offensive actions too, and it seemed like the process was too slow. But then the moment came when everybody saw how quickly we began to advance. The same thing will happen here.
The pace of advance of Ukrainian troops does not fully reflect the full offensive potential of Ukraine. This was stated in a report by the Institute for the Study of War. Analysts believe that the Ukrainian army is currently preparing the ground to continue the counteroffensive, which will take some time. Joe Biden is proud to be the most pro-Russian president in American history. This fake is being spread by Kremlin propaganda. VoxCheck fact-checkers found that the propagandists had overlaid a distorted Russian dubbing on the original audio track. On June 17, Biden spoke to labor union members in Philadelphia as a part of his campaign. He did not say anything about his support for Russia.
And excuse me for being a little emotional, I'm more honored by your endorsement than you can imagine. Coming this early, it's going to make a gigantic difference in this campaign. You know, there are a lot of politicians in this country who can't say the word union. As you know, I'm not one of them. I'm proud to say the word. I'm proud to be the most pro-union president in American history. I promised you I would be. But what I'm really proud about is being re-elected the most pro-union president in history.
On the whole, propagandists have dramatically changed their rhetoric, from the narrative that Ukrainians are puppets of the United States to the narrative that Kyiv controls Biden. They claim that Ukraine bribed the American leader when he was vice president.
Байден, на самом деле, абсолютно управляем украинцами. Мало этого, по большому счету, Соединенные Штаты Америки должны возбудить дело против президента Украины за вмешательство во внутренние дела.
Meanwhile, the United States announced a new $1.3 billion aid package for Ukraine. The German foreign minister asked Ukraine not to call Leopard tanks German. This is yet another Russian propaganda fake. Supposedly, the head of the German foreign ministry, Annalena Baerbock, made this request to the media because she is embarrassed by the quality of these combat vehicles. The case was investigated by fact-checkers from the Stop Fake project. Annalena Baerbock did not make this request to the media. Experts have determined that a search in open sources in German, English and Russian leads only to Russian propaganda sites and the Russian segment of social media. Instead, the German foreign minister made a different statement. She wants to counter Russian aggression with a powerful fundraising campaign for Ukraine.
We continue to support Ukraine financially, politically, with weapons. We want Ukraine to win this war, to win peace.
Germany is currently working on long-term security guarantees for Kyiv.
Well, we have to assume that the Russian war will continue for some time. This is the assumption we are working on, and our policies focus on this. Germany will continue to support Ukraine for as long as it is necessary. We have earmarked the necessary money in our budget, and we are working towards ensuring that Germany's capacity to produce and repair armaments is at readiness. And of course, it's always been the case that NATO is not going to become a warring party. NATO is a strong alliance. Last year, Finland and Sweden have joined NATO, which is an important reinforcement of the alliance. It is very important to me that both of these countries are sitting down at the table with us in Vilnius. The Secretary General and myself have talked about the critical infrastructure in the North Sea. Jens, I want to thank you for all you have done to ensure that NATO takes on a strong coordinating function as well.
By promoting fakes about the supposedly bad Leopards, propagandists are unsuccessfully trying to discredit Germany and the assistance provided to Ukraine by its Western partners. Russian propagandists are not above spreading disinformation about vulnerable groups of people suffering from tuberculosis. The Kremlin media are trying to spread this fake. American biological research has supposedly led to an increase in the number of patients with tuberculosis in the Zaporizhzhia region. Vox-Check analysts noticed this fake story. According to the Ministry of Health of Ukraine, last year 119 patients in the Zaporizhzhia region were diagnosed with tuberculosis for the first time. But what does this have to do with American biolabs? Currently, Russia claims that the United States will be delivering combat mosquitoes by drones.
О высоком техническом уровне готовности США к применению инфицированных переносчиков свидетельствует патент на беспилотный летательный аппарат, предназначен для распространения в воздухе зараженных комаров, о котором мы говорили ранее. В соответствии с описанием, беспилотник должен доставлять в заданный район контейнер и высвобождать их. При укусе комары способны инфицировать военнослужащих опасной инфекцией, например, такой как малярия. В описании к патенту подчеркивается, что зараженный военнослужащий не способен выполнить поставленные перед ним боевые задачи.
The UN is still trying to recover from the half-hour report of the Russian permanent representative on combat insects, as well as from other masterpieces of Kremlin propaganda.
How many times have we heard in January and February last year that Russia had no intention to attack Ukraine until it shamelessly did? How many times have we heard, including in this room, that everything happening since February 2022 is solely and entirely the fault of Ukraine, which we know it isn't? How many times have we heard that the despicable crimes committed in Bucha were staged? The UN Commission of Inquiry and other credible reports have concluded otherwise. Didn't we hear endlessly that Russia never attacked civilians, except for the 20,000 Ukrainians killed or wounded and those millions uprooted for their homes? Didn't they say that Russia never forcefully deported children to give them for adoption in Russia? The ICC and OSCE Moscow mechanism have proved otherwise and reached different conclusions. The world witnessed in disbelief a room full of people laughing in New Delhi when Russian foreign minister claimed that Russia is defending itself from a war launched by Ukraine. 143 countries of the UN just don't buy it. The world scientific community is still waiting for proof on the biolaboratories producing combat birds and armed mosquitoes, and for the spread of pathogens using migratory birds and bats.
Kremlin propagandists deliberately target vulnerable population groups such as the elderly, children and people with diseases to come up with more and more fakes. The ineffectiveness of such fabrications does not stop the Russian media, so we are waiting for new masterpieces about combat worms, sabotage and recon fleas, and anti-tank beetles. Have a good day and stay tuned. Ukraine will win.